Hello, thank you for checking out A1 Math, and today we're looking at solving a system of linear equations by graphing. So solve a system of linear equations by graphing is 3 steps. Step 1, solve for y on both equations. Step 2, graph each equation. And step 3, see where they cross and plot that point. So we're going to start with step 1 and graph or solve for y on both equations. Alright, so to do that, we want to make sure it looks like y equals mx plus b. Well, the first equation here already looks like y equals mx plus b. So we don't have to do anything with that at all. Matter of fact, we can go ahead and graph it. So I'm going to go ahead and plot that. That's going to be start at -2. That's where I start at, -2. And then I move down 2 and to the right 1. Down 2 and to the right 1. I can also go up 2 and back 1. Up 2 and back 1. And then I just draw my line. So that's my first equation. My second one is x plus 2y is equal to 2. And it doesn't look like y equals mx plus b, so I have to solve for y first. So I'm going to do that by subtracting the x to get it away from the 2y here. So subtract x on both sides. Then I bring down 2y. And then bring down my -x, and then my +2. Next, I'm going to go ahead and divide by 2 on each term. Alright, once I do that, I'll end up with y is equal to -1/2 x plus 1. So now I'm going to go ahead and graph this one. And understand it begins at 1. And we're going to move -1 over 2. So it begins here. And since it's -1, and then to the right 2, I go down 1 and over 2. Down 1 and over 2. I could also go up 1 and to the left 2. Up 1 and to the left 2. And then I graph this line. Alright, so the solution of the equation is where the two lines cross. And they cross right here at this point. And that's going to be -2, -2. I'm sorry, -2, +2. So that's your solution. Now, if you want to check your answer to make sure you get it right, what you want to do is take this point and plug it into each one of these equations, like so. So if you plug in the -2 and 2 into each one of these equations, you should get a true statement. 2 is equal to 2, and 2 is equal to 2. It doesn't have to be the same number, but they have to be, or have the same answer, but they have to equal each other. You have to have either 2 equals 2, 4 equals 4, or something like that. Okay, let's take a look at another example. Alright, so in this example, we want to do our 3 steps. Step 1 is to put it in y equal mx plus b format. Step 2 is to graph it, and then step 3 is to figure out where they cross. So let's start with the first one here. We got y is equal to 2x plus 8. And I'm going to go ahead and graph it. I'm going to begin at 8, which is way up here. And my rise over run is going to be 2 over 1. But I can't go up 2. So I have to go down 2 and make sure I go back 1 so it stays positive. Goes up from left to right. Down 2 and back 1. Down 2 and back 1. And go ahead and graph that one. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and graph the other one, but it's not in slope-intercept form. So I got to go ahead and put it in that first. So in order to do that, I have to get the y by itself, and it's over here with this negative x. So I'm going to add x on both sides. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and bring down my y, have my x, and a positive 6. Now it's in the y equals mx plus b format with my slope being 1. So the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take this 6, or begin at 6 here, which is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And do rise over 1, run 1 over 1. So I go up 1 and over 1. Up 1 and over 1. All right. If I want some more points toward the left, I need to go down 1 and back 1. Down 1 and back 1. Down 1 and back 1. Then take the straight edge and draw my line. And the correct answer is where the 2 points cross, which is right here. All right, and that's going to be -2, 4. And that's your answer. So notice how both of these have a positive slope. And on the previous example, they both had negative slopes, but they still cross. So it doesn't have to be opposite slopes there, or one positive, one negative for it to work here. All right, so if we want to plug it in, go ahead and plug that in. And like I said before, you can have different numbers, but as long as they're both equal, then it's a solution. Okay, so remember, 3 steps. Step 1, solve for y. Step 2, go ahead and graph it. And step 3, see where they cross. And that's how you find the solution to a system of equations, linear equations, by graphing. I want to thank you for checking out A1 Math, and have a nice day.